Alright, y'all. It is time for some gumbo. Next on Around the Armstrong Table. Alright, so here we go. I got all of my ingredients ready to cook this gumbo. And as you can see, we got a ton of things that is going to make this dish absolutely delicious. Of course, I'm going to have my holy trinity. I'm going to throw some crab meat in there, some chicken thighs, smoked sausage, also some shrimp. You know, I'm going to have my garlic, Old Bay seasoning. It's going to be that background seasoning. Then we're going to have all the other ingredients, my sherry, and of course, what's that here sauce and some hot sauce. So it's going to be a fun dish. Let's get it started. So first what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our Dutch oven, and the reason I'm going to use this pot for my gumbo is, number one, it's not a big pot, so I'm not making a huge pot of gumbo, and that's partially to do with we only have a family of 3. So we're going to get some oil in the pot, and we're going to start off with the most essential part of gumbo, and you guys know what that is. For all the people that are in New Orleans, if you don't have a roux, you don't have a gumbo. So first thing we're going to start with is the roux. So I got the oil in. I let that heat up just a little bit. I'm going to throw in about a third of a cup of flour, and I put about I would say 3/4 of a cup of oil. Now I may adjust this as I go due to the size of the pot. Normally, obviously in New Orleans, we make a huge pot of gumbo, so that roux has to be much more of the oil and flour. So what you're looking for is, this is going to be a process, okay? So you're just going to start off as you go, and as you can see, I'm already adding more flour in, and it's going to take a while for this roux to develop. It's going to go through several different stages before it reaches exactly what we want it to reach. So get your hand ready, get your forearms ready, because you're going to be stirring for a minute. So here's what we got going on. We're going to keep stirring and stirring, and as you'll see, the video is going to cut a little bit to show the progressions a little bit quicker, but as I can tell you, I was doing this for a good hour making this roux. Now if you look at where it's at right now, to me that actually looks a little thin, so I can almost guesstimate that I am going to add some more flour to this at some point. And again, the primary reason is when you pull that spoon back, you want to see a little bit of the back of the pot, or the bottom of the pot, excuse me. So here's what we got going on. Now we got a light brown color, if you want to say, and that's going to transition into another layer of that depth of flavor. Now I got rid of my spoon just for a second because it was much easier to go with the whisk, and you know, you just keep stirring, and it's going to reach a point where actually you can just let it kind of cook for a minute, and then you come back and stir. But the darker the roux, the more intense the flavor. And for some people, they may say, well, isn't this burning the flour? No. This is just taking that time to develop that flavor. So now we got a darker roux, and that's looking pretty good. Almost looks like a caramel color, if you want to say. And oh man, look at this. This is looking so good. So as you can hear that whisk, you just keep going. You'll start to see those little bits. And again, like I said, it's not burning, but it's almost at that point. And I'll tell you, this is what we want to see coming up. Oh, look at that nice chocolate color. That is a beautiful roux. And you'll see me start to pull my spoon back a little bit. And by the way, I alluded to it earlier, I did add some additional flour to it because it was looking way too thin for me. So now that I got that going and I got the roux exactly where I want it, okay, I'm gonna come in with the Holy Trinity. So Holy Trinity, as you guys know, it's gonna have onions, celery, and bell pepper. Now I chose to go with red bell pepper, and the reason I did that is I like the color. and you know, having that mixture of colors in there and what it does for it. So we're gonna mix that up. I mean, you know, that roux, look how thick, look how just, I'm telling you, it is so intensified with the flavor there, and that's exactly what you want. You want to make sure you guys get all of that off the bottom, and that's going to be the basis of this delicious gumbo. Now in New Orleans we use filet, but I'm in Florida, so I don't have any filet. But you could put it on the side, and for people that want to add it later, you can do that if you want to, or you can obviously cook it in there. It's completely up to you. So I went in and added some garlic, and you guys know how I feel about garlic. I mean, it's like an essential food group. Garlic is in almost everything that I cook, so we gotta have that garlic. So we're gonna let that just all the base flavors cook for just a minute, and I'm gonna come in with a few more ingredients and get this flavored up even more so. So the next ingredient, we're gonna add some salt and pepper, and I'm only adding a teaspoon of each, so just keeping that simple. Nothing too much. We don't need to add a ton of seasoning at this point, because we got that Old Bay that's going to be coming up later. Okay, so if you've seen in some of my previous dishes that I've cooked, we got to have some sherry. For me, it's just a great background note. It's a really good ingredient, and it's something different in a gumbo. Sherry is not something that you often see in a gumbo, but again, I'm all about building flavor and kind of taking non-traditional ingredients and including them into my dishes. Next, we're gonna come in with I ain't gonna say it's the main star, but it's a great ingredient, which is a tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning. That Old Bay it's been around forever. It's essential in New Orleans cooking. Now I know there's some other Cajun seasonings, and I'll tell you, I use all of them. You may see me use Tony Saturate, Old Bay, and so on. Slap Your Mama, I know that's another one that's really good. So I threw in 4 dry bay leaves. My grocery store didn't have any fresh bay leaves, so guess what? This is what I got. So I used those, and now we're gonna come in with, you guys know, it's that what's that here sauce. I mean, look at that. Just I said 4 to 5 dashes, but I think I went overboard. That might have been 10. It's just, I love that. So I slowed that one down, and as you can see, look at that. That just looks good right there without even adding anything. So next I'll bring my liquids in. I'm gonna add in 4 cups of chicken broth, and then I'm also gonna add some water. Probably add about a cup or 2 of water, and again, you want this to be, a gumbo is kind of in the middle of a stew and a soup. It's going to give you a little bit of both of those, and that's what you want from your gumbo. It shouldn't be too loose, but it shouldn't be a gravy, if you want to say, or like a stew. But that's the best part about it. I mean, it does exactly what you need. So if I'm going to Louisiana, I gotta go hot sauce, and some people like Crystal. I like Louisiana hot sauce and Crystal, so I'm going with Louisiana hot sauce this time. And that one I did put about 3 to 4 dashes. The Worcestershire, like I said, I went a little overboard, but you know, is it really gonna make it that bad? No, it's gonna just enhance the flavor. So next we're gonna come in with our smoked sausage. Now normally I would fry these up and just get some intense flavor on them, but I went ahead and just made them exactly the way it is. I got some chicken in here, so those are some chicken thighs. I went ahead and seasoned the chicken thighs with some smoked paprika and some Cajun seasoning and a little bit of salt and pepper, so that way those are already seasoned up before they go in the pot. Now gumbo takes a long time to cook. The longer it cooks, the better it gets. So there's no need to be in a rush when cooking this dish. Okay. So what you want to do is let that start to cook down, and you're going to cover it. Okay. And you're going to let this cook for about 3 to 4 hours before you go to serve it. After 3 hours of cooking, I mean, the gumbo has started to tighten up. Had a little steam going on. So what you want to do now is come in with the seafood. Obviously, I don't want to add my seafood early. I want to add it toward the end of the dish. And I did season up those shrimp. So I had about 1 pound of shrimp or 2 pounds of shrimp that I added into the gumbo. And the next part is going to be some crab meat. Again, about 1.5 pounds of crab meat. I didn't want to add these in early, because what happens is the shrimp get overcooked and they get rubbery. And the crab meat, I mean, even when you put it in now, all the crab meat is going to do is go ahead and break up. So again, the gumbo looks really, really good. And I mean, for some people this may be a little loose, but again, I like my gumbo a little bit looser than others. I went ahead and added just a little bit more seasoning to taste after I tasted this dish. But I can tell you, all of the players in the pot are playing well together, and it tastes absolutely delicious. So gumbo is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get this plated up. And again, I want to thank you guys. I made some rice to go with it, and from my table to your table, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Enjoy replicating these dishes and have fun with them. And please comment also. Ask me questions or give me suggestions. I'm all about that. I love doing these dishes. I hope you guys enjoy. Have a good one.